Good Saturday morning, everyone. Welcome back to Weather with Sim again. I hope you guys are all having a great day so far. And in today's weather forecast, we're going to be going over another preliminary winter forecast. And this looks to be my last preliminary winter forecast. I will have my official one coming out next month, or maybe even the beginning of December. I'll have to see when I'm able to do it, but it will be coming out somewhere around that time. So make sure to stay tuned for that one too as well. But make sure to stay tuned throughout this video, as we will let you guys know about what could happen this winter. Now we are getting closer to winter, so a lot of things have been changing on how we expect this winter to be, so don't be surprised to see some things completely different. But if you guys are new here to the YouTube channel, or if you guys haven't subscribed already, make sure to go down below and click that subscribe button. I really do appreciate you guys subscribing to my YouTube channel. But if you haven't subscribed already, or if you are new here, make sure to go down below and click that subscribe button. Also, make sure to leave a thumbs up too as well. Those help out more than you know. And of course, leave any questions, comments, or concerns about this winter. It can even be about something else too as well, but feel free to leave any of that down below. But let's first go ahead and take a look at what we could be seeing this winter. We're gonna first go ahead and look at some details on what we could see this winter. Now, this is what the National Weather Service thinks we could see this winter, and as you guys can see, the National Weather Service is saying we could see above average temperatures across the entire southern United States, especially on the southern Gulf Coast heading into Florida, and as well as the southern plains. But it even shows above average temperatures could be even all along the East Coast up there towards Maine. So it would be really interesting to see some above average temperatures across those areas. I don't think I totally agree with that, because I do think that we could still be seeing below average temperatures across parts of the East Coast, especially down here south of Virginia. But who knows exactly if this is going to be right or wrong. We are, thinking that we could still be seeing some below average temperatures up here in New England, heading down into the mid-Atlantic. But, we will be keeping an eye on it. And then for precipitation, well, above average precipitation is forecasted across the Ohio Valley. I actually kind of do agree with that a little bit more, especially because as this jet stream dips down, this, will likely bring a ton of precipitation to those areas. So I really do think we could be seeing some pretty well above average precipitation across, the Ohio Valley region. But, down here towards, the southern United States, we do expect well below average precipitation, and it even added on even a darker brown color, meaning that confidence is increasing that we'll see below average precipitation this winter. So we'll have to, be keeping an eye out for that too, as well. As I said, well below average precipitation is definitely possible here across the southern United States, while above average is likely across the northern United States, back down into the Ohio Valley especially. Let's now go ahead and take a look at if we are even getting near close to a La Nina. And as you guys can see, these water temperatures have kind of been all over the place, going up and down. They, went all the way down below a degree, which, was really considered a La Nina. But we really gone back up, and now we are starting to go back down again. So we'll just have to continue watching to see what these water temperatures do. I don't think these water temperatures, will be, a moderate La Nina, but I do still think a weak La Nina is possible, especially if these water temperatures continue to go down. So we will definitely continue to keep an eye on it. Let's now go ahead and take a look at my temperature forecast for this winter. This, is from December all the way through March. And as you guys can see, for this winter, we do expect there to be below below average temperatures across the northern United States, Ohio River Valley, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast, but the area that we are most confident of is places like the Northern Rockies, Upper Plains, Upper Midwest, Great Lakes, and Ohio Valley, where we do expect there to be below average temperatures, but some of these areas will likely even see well below average temperatures too as well, especially these areas farther to the north, but I still wouldn't be surprised to see some well below average temperatures across the Ohio Valley at times this winter, so we will definitely continue to keep an eye on it. And like I said, this is the area that we are most confident in below average temperatures. I still do think we could see some across the Mid-Atlantic, like I said, with the National Weather Service. I don't think I totally agree with above average temperatures across, these areas of the East Coast, but I still do think, we could at least be seeing a little bit in the way of below average temperatures across the East Coast. But I mean, because most companies, such as the Farmer's Almanac and other companies like that, have been shown more in the way of warmer temperatures across the East Coast. I'm not really super confident in below average temperatures, but I still do think we could see some, especially because it will be close to Canada. And then finally, for the southern United States, we are, keeping an eye out for above average temperatures across these areas, especially southern California, southern Nevada, central and southern Arizona, heading over there towards portions there of New Mexico. And then, even another area will likely see above average temperatures, which does include Florida, back into Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and even parts of eastern Texas, really likely to see some above average temperatures right there. So it's definitely not looking good that, we're going to really be staying, warm down here too as well, because, when we take a look at our precipitation forecast, we do also expect there to be well below average precipitation too as well, which, definitely doesn't really make a great winter, but, you guys down here won't really need, I don't think you guys down here will really need to be wearing any jackets, as, it will really be warmer than normal, to say the least. So we will definitely keep an eye on it. And yep, that's exactly right with the precipitation. We do expect there to be below average precipitation across the southern United States. So we will definitely, continue to watch the southern United States closely for below average precipitation this winter, but especially across southern California, back into southern Nevada, central and southern Arizona, central and southern New Mexico, heading over there into a pretty good portion there of Texas, likely to see some pretty below average precipitation. So it's definitely, pretty unfortunate, like I said, that of how well below average we could definitely be. But areas farther to the north, like in Northwest, I am pretty confident that we will see above average precipitation across those areas, especially Oregon, southern Washington, into southern and central Idaho, into a pretty good portion there of northern and northwest Wyoming, and as well as southern Montana, likely to see some pretty well above average precipitation there. But I am especially confident across the Ohio River Valley, and I even agree with the National Weather Service that I, do expect there to be some pretty well above average precipitation across parts of the Ohio Valley, but even, the Great Lakes region could definitely see some pretty well above average precipitation too as well. So definitely really looking like a wet winter across these areas. We could see a little bit of above average precipitation across New England, but some do indicate a little bit more on the mild side of things. So like I said, not really super confident about, below average temperatures or above average precipitation, but I still do think it's possible, so that's why I'm keeping it there. Let's now go ahead and take a look at something we have not took a look at during our last few winter forecasts, and this is what areas could see above average snowfall, okay? We are especially concerned about above average snowfall across, portions there of the Northwest where, pretty well above average snowfall is certainly possible, but the reason why we, may see a little bit less in the way of above average snowfall a little bit far down to the south, now this teal tar does not mean, there's a low chance of above average snowfall. This indicates that, there's a chance of slightly above average snowfall snowfall. But the reason why we aren't concerned about well above average snowfall for those areas a little bit farther down to the south, like Utah, Colorado, northern Nevada, and California, is because this jet stream is kind of going to be like that. So it's not necessarily going to be right on top of those areas, but we will still likely see slightly above average snowfall across those areas, and a lot of those areas even do see a lot of snowfall each year. So it's going to be a little bit tricky to say if they'll be above average snowfall or not, because the higher amount of snowfall you usually see, it's usually pretty tricky to predict that, because sometimes they just don't meet up. But let's also go ahead and look at the confidence of a heavy snowstorm this winter. This is the risk of a heavy snowstorm, 8 inches plus from December through March this winter. And as you guys can see, we do expect at least a low to possible chance across this light teal color right there, as you guys can see, and it even says it on there, right, as you guys can see. So a low chance indicates a 0 to 25% chance. So like I said, it's a very low but still possible chance that we could definitely see some big snowstorms across that area. But I do think at a little bit farther to the north in this medium color, this is a little bit darker teal color right there, as you guys can see. I am pretty confident, at least more confident, that these areas could definitely see an 8-inch snowstorm, and you guys have anywhere from a 25 to a 50% chance of seeing an 8-inch snowstorm across this darker teal color right there, as you guys can see. So it's definitely at least looking to be a possibility across those areas. But I think areas a little bit far down to the south definitely start to go down. Even the Tulsa area, Panhandle, Texas, I still do think you guys have a chance of seeing a snowstorm this winter, as you guys will definitely be at least close to that jet stream. So we will be keeping an eye on you guys for maybe some snowstorms, but especially the possibility of an 8-inch snowstorm this winter. And then finally, for the darkest blue color, this includes the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley, where I do think that these areas are having the best chance of a huge snowstorm this winter. So you guys definitely need to be keeping an eye on this winter closely for the possibility of a snowstorm possibly bringing greater than 8 inches across these areas, especially because you guys will be right on track of that jet stream. And I do think that it could definitely dip farther down to the south at times, and as it does, this will likely let that cold air surge on through, and that could definitely bring that possibility of an 8-inch snowstorm across those areas. And that's the reason why I am most confident about this area seeing a major snowstorm this winter. Let's now go ahead and take a look at your overall winter forecast, starting off with the Northwest, where we do expect storms. That doesn't just mean we expect rain and thunderstorms, but in the higher elevations, we will likely see huge snowstorms across those areas. And this is also the area that is expected to see the most amount of storms this winter. So definitely get ready for a very snowy, stormy winter, as even some thunder snow could definitely develop across the Northwest, which does include Washington, back into Oregon, Northern California, and even parts of western Idaho likely to be at risk for, like I said, some thunder snow and even some major snowstorms this winter. So definitely get ready for that. A little bit farther to the east, we got this red color right here, which does mainly include the Rocky Mountains. This is where we expect there to be great snows, and much of them will be great for skiing too as well. So definitely get ready for a really good winter across these areas, because I really do think we could be seeing some huge snowstorms across these areas, especially because places like Idaho and Wyoming will be right on track of that jet stream as it moves on through. So it's definitely going to be something something to be keeping an eye on this winter, as, like I said, really good snowstorms and, some great skiing conditions are definitely likely across those areas. And then heading a little bit far down to the south, we got this yellow color right there, as you guys can see, indicating a drier and mild winter, which does include the Dixie Alley area, back into central Arkansas, central Oklahoma, back into the panhandle of Texas, northern New Mexico, northern Arizona, pretty good portion there of central California, and as well as Nevada will likely see a drier and of course a mild winter, especially with those temperatures. So definitely looking like something that we still do need to be keeping an eye on this winter, as a lot of people are pretty confident that we will be seeing a drier, mild winter across those areas. And then I'm sorry my computer keeps doing that. Like I said, it's been really skippy lately, but anyway, for this darker orange color, we do expect there to be a dry and warm winter across parts of the Southern Plains, parts of, Dixie Alley up there, even into parts of California will likely be at risk for, the driest, weather, and of course, really warm temperatures too, as well, as we do expect some of those areas in this area to see some pretty well above average temperatures. So definitely looking like, a much warmer and drier than normal winter for these areas. So definitely get ready for that. And I don't think you guys are really going to need jackets as much in this area due to how above average those temperatures will be. And then a little bit far to the north, we got that teal color right there, as you guys can see. This is where we expect there to be occasionally snow showers. What that means is that we will likely see quite a bit of snow, but that doesn't mean the snow is going to be on the heavier side of things. And like I said, on the chance of a big daddy snowstorm, you guys in this area got at least a medium chance of seeing it, which doesn't mean the highest confidence, but still a pretty good decent chance of maybe an 8-inch snowstorm or two. But I still do think you guys will be on the lighter side of things for how much snowfall you guys could see this winter, and that's why we just expect there to be occasionally snow showers. So I do at least think, you guys will at least see a couple of snow shower events, possibly bringing anywhere from 2 to 3 inches of snowfall, just depending on how long they last. So like I said, definitely expect that snowfall to be on the lighter side of things, but it's still going to be possible that you guys may still get a pretty big snowstorm this winter, so we will keep an eye on it. And then a little bit farther to the north, we got this area across the upper plains and Midwest where near average snowfall looks to be, the main concern this winter. But something that's even going to be a bigger problem across this area is that polar vortexes are also going to be a possibility. Okay, we're talking that possibility for well below average temperatures in this pink color. Okay, so you guys need to make sure you guys have several layers of clothes for this winter, as we could really be seeing those temperatures get well down into the negatives at times this winter, as like I said, you guys will likely be at risk for some polar vortexes this winter, so definitely get ready for that. And then a little bit farther to the east, we got probably our most concerning area this winter, where we will likely see a lot of cold shots and even some pretty good and big time snowstorms likely this winter. Okay, this includes the Great Lakes and as well as the Ohio Valley. So we will definitely keep an eye on this area, especially as, like I said, I think this area is going to be the biggest and most concerning area this winter, due to how much cold air might be able to surge in. It just depends on how far down south that jet stream gets. And I also really do think, we could see some big time snowstorms, like I said, across this area, especially because you guys will be in the bullseye for even an 8-inch snowstorm this winter. So definitely get ready for that if you live across the Great Lakes or Ohio Valley. And then a little bit far down to the south, we got this pink color. And as you guys can see, this is the winter battle zone. This includes far northeast Arkansas into northern Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Southern Virginia, and all of Tennessee, where we will likely be at risk for all types of precipitation, as this jet stream will likely dip down at times, but will also likely be farther north at times too as well. So the times where it dips farther down to the south, you guys, may be at risk for a little bit of a snowstorm or two this winter. And then, when it's a little bit farther to the north, but, still at least on track with that storm system. So if it's north of you, let's say across southern Indiana, which is north of this battle zone area, you guys may still be on track with that storm, but because you'll be south of the jet stream, you guys will likely be seeing more of a rain threat, especially because that cold air can't really go past that jet stream because it kind of does act like a wall. So that's something to be aware about this winter is, all types of precipitation, including some dry periods, are definitely possible this winter. And then up there towards the Mid-Atlantic in New England, a few big snowstorms are possible. It just depends on if we'll even see below average temperatures or not this winter, because if we do, I do think those chances will definitely be on the higher side of things. And it's also a little bit iffy on if we'll even see above average precipitation across this area, because some do indicate a little bit more of a mild winter. But like I said, we will definitely keep an eye on it for you guys. We will be keeping an eye on it for maybe a few big snowstorms. Not likely to be, huge ones, but will still be something to keep an eye on this winter. And I probably wouldn't even roll out a nor'easter across this area. But, like I said, we will definitely need to be keeping an eye on it as, things are definitely looking on the concerning sides of things for the Mid-Atlantic and as well as the New England areas. And so we will definitely keep an eye on this winter closely. But thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy my last preliminary winter forecast. Like I said, my official one will be coming out either next month or the beginning of December. So it's always good to subscribe and like so that way, I can make my official winter forecast. And don't forget to leave any questions, comments, or concerns about this winter, kind of like what you guys left on my last few winter forecasts. So feel free to leave any of that down below, and of course make sure to stay tuned for my official one, like I said.